Alright, David Drape here from Drape's Creations, doing our first painting tutorial. Yeah. So, today I want to be painting Slimer from Ghostbusters. So I pulled out some of my Ghostbusters stuff for inspiration. And as you can see here, I have my paints ready. I have my fun, goofy stuff ready. I've got my paintbrushes and my cup of water. So, really quick, I'll go over this with you. We have started to recently sell painting kits, art kits, different projects. So the one that goes along with this one would be our painting kit, and it comes with 3 paintbrushes. It comes with a chip brush, it comes with a round brush, and it comes with a flat brush. See how it's kind of square, flat. See how it's kind of rounded at the edge. And this one is just for covering larger spaces, and that'll all come along as we go. And the types of paints that I'm using in this painting tutorial are Sax True Flow acrylics. They're heavy bodied. I really like the way that they cover the canvas and the way that they look afterwards. Very vibrant colors, very nice price. And the fun part is that a lot of the colors are the same colors that Bob Ross used. Beautiful man. Awesome. So, first thing that we're gonna do with ours is, if like I was saying, if you got the painting kit, I know we're including the paintbrushes, the paints. We're doing it as a pickup service. You get a canvas with it as well. I think we're going to be including some Chili's cuppies for some of the first people who do it, as well as Pepper Pals. That's free Chili's kids meals. Get yours today. So, as we go along, you'll hear me say a lot of things like freeing yourself as an artist. I love easels, they're really neat, but I feel like they get in the way a lot of times. So what I'll do is I will grab my canvas and I will hook my fingers around it like this. And now my hand is my easel, and I can paint anywhere that I want to. I can take it outside, I can take it inside, I can hang it upside down like this, I can lay on my back and paint like this if I want to. It's really cool. So, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chip brush, and I'm going to saturate both sides of it with my black paint, because I want to cover my entire canvas with black paint. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on one area of my canvas, bringing the paint down to the other end. And the idea of that is once you have started here and ended up over here, this side has started to dry already, and you'll be able to start your character, your painting, or whatever it is that you might want to be doing right off the bat. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to start getting this on here, and I'm going stroke by stroke. Pull this over here as well so you can see that. Stroke by stroke, even strokes. Now, as you can see, there's some of these little white wispies coming through on our white canvas. That's okay, don't worry so much about that. What you want to do is I'm going back to my paint and getting my paintbrush nice and saturated. Let me go ahead and get that nice and close for you so you can see. And then I'm going right back to my canvas and starting in the little corner where I left off. And I'm going to start to drag it across and drag it across in even strokes, as you can see, even strokes. And I'm trying my best to get all this covered over here. Nice, even filled strokes. So the idea is that this is starting to dry already because acrylics dry nice and fast. Go back to my cup of paint and start right down here. Bring this together like that. There you go. You can see that there. Alright, I'm going to pull this down right here. Start to pull this across like that. Oh yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. Get this all down. Let me go ahead and get some more black paint on my brush so I can get this down on my canvas. Alright. Yeah. Try not to get your paint on there too thick. If it is getting on there too thick, you can just take your brush and pull it across your canvas. There we go. That's what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to pull it across my canvas, and as you can see, there's a lot more paint on my brush than what you've seen. So I'm going to start to press that into the canvas. Start to get that into those nooks and crannies. Start to pull some more of this around over here. There we go. And that's just because I want that to dry a little bit faster. Well, get both sides of my paintbrush saturated. Okay, and then I'm coming right back and getting up in here. Alright. And once I have the entire front part of my canvas covered, then I'm going to come in and I'm going to get the sides as well. And what that does is that just brings your painting up to a more professional quality when you get the sides of your canvas as well, and you bring your painting onto the sides. That way you don't really have to frame it unless you really want to, and your painting still looks really nice. I can't remember who told me that, but it's definitely true. I think it might have even just been another person on YouTube. I don't think it was Bob Ross. I think it might have been somebody else doing their painting tutorial. Okay, so now that I've got the whole front of my canvas covered like this with my black paint, as you can see, there's still some of these white spots of the canvas coming through on the bottom. That's okay. It's going to start to disappear as we get the rest of our colors put on there. So now, like I said, I'm going to start to take my paint and I'm going to start to get these corners and these sides. And as you can see, the way that I'm holding it is allowing me to get all these different spots nice and quick. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be referencing an image of the original Slimer from the 1984 film. There was some behind the scenes photos that they took, and I really like the way that his face looks. And I know some of you might be thinking, whoa, this is gonna be crazy, this is gonna be scary. I can't paint something like that. Well, it's just gonna be simple shapes and colors, and honestly, the black part of our canvas right here is going to be most of our outlining. So it'll come to life. You'll see what I mean as we go along. So now that I've got this nice and covered, I'm gonna go ahead and set this down. And you could wave it in the air if you wanted to get it to dry a little faster. I'm going to let it sit for just a second while I take care of some other things. And when I come back, I'm going to show us how to start to paint Slimer. Okay, so once you've got your canvas completely covered in black, you can take your black paintbrush and put it in a cup of water. You don't need to clean it, you can just set it in a cup of water, you can clean it later on. So for right now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving on to the next step. I got my canvas nice and dry now, I took care of a few things while I was doing that. The first thing that I'm going to do is I got my image pulled up on my phone right here. That's the image that I really like, and that's the image that I'm going to be putting on the canvas right now, folks. Using shortcuts. Simple shapes and colors. So we're going to start off with our green. I got my cup of green. I'm going to take my round brush, and I'm going to dip it in my white. And I'm going to take my white to my green, and in just a little corner there, I'm going to mix the green together with the white. And what's going to end up happening is it's going to bring up the opacity of my paint. So that won't be so translucent. And as you can see, they're practically the same color green. It's not super light green or anything like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some simple shapes. So the top part of his head is kind of like an egg shape. So let's go ahead and let's get that egg shape thrown down on there really easily. See how I'm doing it? Kind of sloppy. No real specific way, other than the fact that I'm getting a basic egg shape down. His nose would be about right there. And then we're going to start to get the outline of those lips in. Really quick as I go along. Alright. It's going to start to slowly come to life as we keep adding our layers. How's it looking on there? Looking good. Okay, cool. So, I'm going to keep on going. Keep on adding the layers. The green. And then here comes those cheekbones. Down right there. And then he's got those double chins. Got another bit right there. I'm just going to bring that up right there. Boom. And add in the other cheekbone right here. Bringing that chin up and under. Boom. Alright. As you can see, he's starting to really take shape now. Alright, looks like I might need to bring his forehead higher, and that's the wonderful thing about these paints is that you can always add to it a little bit more. Don't erase it. I would not take my black paint and try to erase it or anything like that. That wouldn't really come out as well. So now I'm going to add another circle over here on this side. And as you can see, once I got these simple shapes on here, let's start to add more detail. So let's go ahead and let's get that nose going. Let's go a circle right here. And let's do another little circle off to the side right there. Another little circle off to the side right there. Boom de boom. I'm going to bring up. Bring it up. That's going to start to become the bridge of my nose. And he's got that eyebrow right there too. Let's get that eyebrow going, yeah. Alright, I'm going to start to add in another rounded rectangle on this side. And let's bring out this rounded rectangle on this side right here. There we go. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so we've got his nose down here. Let's start to add in the detail of that lip. There we go. He's got those kind of cartoony lips right here. So let's, there we go. Alright, awesome. Digging it. Bring that down just a little bit lower. Alright, cool. And then that's the fun part about it. Once you got your basic shapes on there, you can start to really play with it and bring it to life. So let's see. Looks like I'm gonna need to bring this out just a little bit further. Always going back to your cuppy and always making sure that you got a nice amount of paint on your paintbrush. Allows you to really keep going. As you can see, there we go. And as you can tell, that opacity of our paint, adding that little bit of white on there, really brings it out. It's going to start to look like one of those old 70s paintings that would be painted on black vinyl. Or black velvet, there we go. Black velvet painting, where the colors would be really bright and very vibrant. Really cool. Alright, let's see. So I'm gonna start to add this in right here. We're gonna get these shapes. I'm starting to bring the lips more to life and the cheeks. Feel free to pause it and slow it down. I'm gonna start to bring these lips down right here. This is going to be that bottom lip that's going to be really big. So I'm going to start to bring that out just a little bit more here and there. Alright. Yeah, there we go. Cool. It looks like that disappears up inside there while this comes down here. Alright. Dig it. Cool. Alright. I know, he looks kind of crazy right now. It's like, what is going on? It doesn't make any sense. It will. Yes. I'm going to start to get some little wiggle wiggles in there, right here. As you can see, wiggle. Yeah. Should bring that more like that. This is my first painting tutorial, so hopefully it's making sense. Okay, cool. Alright, usually I'm used to doing this with a big group of people and asking them as we go along, how does this, do you need help with that? And that will come later as well. I'm going to be putting together some, perhaps, I believe Zoom is what we're going to end up going with, where you'll be able to interact with me and paint with me and ask me questions, and if you're stuck on something, I'll be able to show you how to get it to come to life just a little bit more for you. There we go. Alright. So I'm getting a lot of this up here quick and loose, because these are just the outer, or the inner colors right here. What's going to end up happening is I'm going to start to go over it with some darker greens, some lighter greens as well, some yellows. We even got some purples and blues that are going to be coming into the mix. Yeah, just to help bring him to life just a little bit more. There we go. Alright, cool. So I'm digging the way that his head is looking right now. Let's get some wiggles in there. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm going to start to get those brows in real quick. Alright. And going that over like that. And I'm going to leave some space in between, and that's going to be my lines that you would normally add with your black paint, but I'm just going to use my black paint that's on my canvas already. And that's going to help it come to life just a little bit more. And it saved me time. Now I don't have to go back in and get all these black lines in there, because they're already there. Cheekbone going right here, just behind, and boom. Okay, cool. So let's start to get these eyelids in real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. Really like how he's coming along. Get that in there like that. Alright, alright. And I come down on the lips a little bit more. There we go. Alright. So now I'm going to switch to a darker green. I'm just simply going to take my brush right over to the darker green. And I'm going to start to bring it all around, just to kind of get a little bit more, color in there. As you can see already, the two greens are really starting to help him pop just a little bit more. Get that under there because it's going to be a darker green. Let's get this under here. Yeah. And what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of using it as shading as well as highlights. So I'm going to wiggle that in here and there, wiggle that in here and there. And then when I come back in with the yellows, it's really going to start to come out as well. Alright, so get this guy right here so that we can differentiate between the two. Alright, the yellows will help with that as well. Don't worry too much about it. How it kind of looks like, oh no, it's starting to look like it might just be one color. It's gonna start to split apart as we go along. You'll see it's really neat. It's like magic. More down here. And as you can see, I'm pressing my brush into there and getting just a nicer, thicker color saturation going on. And again, I know he might not make too much sense right now, but he will as we go along. And these are just some simple underlines that I'm adding really quick just to help me see what I'm doing and where I'm going and help him get just a little bit more detail as we go along. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright, cool. Smell that green in here, bring that nose out. Alright, cool, cool, cool. That's good. That's going to be super bright up here, so we're going to hit that with a lot of yellows up in here and a lot of some white in the end. So let's get some of these darker greens down in these areas. Then once we've gotten our yellows down on here, we'll hit up these areas in the dark with some purples and some blues as well, and that'll help bring it to life just a little bit more. And right here what I'm doing is I'm wrapping around my canvas so my Slimer comes out onto the other side of the canvas. There we go. And I'm going to start to take some of these pieces of paint on here. They're starting to get a little too globby, so I'm going to use them in that space by simply dabba with my paintbrush. There we go. Alright, cool. Instead of leaving it too saturated. Alright, cool. There we go. I like the way it's looking. So now from there, I'm going to take that same dirty paintbrush and I'm going to go into my yellow. But I'm not going to take the paintbrush and mix it all into my yellow. I'm just going to take it and mix it into the corner again. There we go. That's going to give me a nice bright green right here. So it's going to be even brighter than the green that's on here right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to pull down onto this area on the top here, and then pull over here, excuse me, and then you'll start to see how that comes to life. And I'm actually mixing with the green that's on here that is still wet. By that, what I mean is some of this green on this canvas is still wet on here. So what I'm doing is I'm using that to my advantage and using it to mix our color that we're getting right now. There we go. Some of that in there on the top part of the eyebrow. That eyebrow. And what I'm trying to do too is, as I'm referencing what I'm looking at where are his wrinkles. So I'm trying to mimic a little bit of where his wrinkles are with my brush. And it might be a little bit tough at first, but it'll start to make sense as you go. So now I'm going to start to grab these pieces in here and start to make that brighter as well. There we go. Alright. And then get this cheek right over here. Make that brighter with that yellow. On the top there, trying to follow where his wrinkles might be. There we go. And then I'm going to start to really dance with my paintbrush now. Start to take this yellow, bounce around with it. There we go. Fix all my little areas that need to be fixed. As the paint is drying, that's the fun part about acrylic is that it dries pretty quick, so you are able to get more detail with it the more you work with it. And get more used to how quickly it dries, what it looks like when it's dry versus when it's wet. There we go. Alright, getting a nice outline on there. It looks like I might need to pull his forehead up higher to me. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. And And like I said, that's the wonderful part. You're like, yes, I was adding wrinkles, I was adding anatomy, but I can always add some more color on here to get it looking the way that I want it to. So yes, as you can see right here, forehead needed to be just a little bit higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here now too. Just get some of that detail. There we go. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. Dig it, dig it, dig it. Connect this. Alright. Cool. I really like how he's looking so far. Let's go ahead and put some more in here as well, so we can start to really separate these areas. Alright. Cool, there we go. A little bit more over here. Need more yellow on my brush if I want the yellow to show up. So if the yellow's not showing up, take the glob of the yellow on your brush and start to smear that around. There we go. Yeah, now you can see my yellow stayed on it better. Now I'm going to start to come in and dance around with my yellow a little bit more to really start to get these nooks and crannies to come to life. Yeah. I'm going to spin my brush because it still got a lot of yellow on there. I don't want to have to jump back into my Macupia yellow quite yet. There you go. I want to mix with that green that's on there already. Alright, yeah. Let's kind of do the same thing over here really quick. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Perfect. Looks great. Now let's jump on to the top part of this nose that I was talking about. Get some of that detail. Yeah. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Cool. Alright. Fun, fun, fun. Now I'm going to start to play with this eyebrow a little bit more. Come over here, bring that, boom. If I'm moving too fast, feel free to slow it down. Bring it back to wherever you need to. That's the fun part about this. Alright, there we go. Grab a little bit more and get this little guy right here. Awesome. Dig it. Alright. So now I'm going to come over here onto this end. I'm going to start to get some of that mixed into there. And it's starting to make it look more like it's disappearing. Alright, alright. Yeah. In there nicely, and what's going on is there's this natural effect that's happening with my yellow. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now I'm going to take my yellow onto my bottom lip right here, because this needs to be really bright. I'm going to follow the creases and lines that I'm seeing on my reference photo. Sometimes you see me take my hand like this, and that just gives me more control. There we go. And so this yellow under here, alright, so I start to get some of that detail of that bottom lip in there. And I'm going to hold on with my pinky on the corner right here, and I'm going to start to do the same thing on the other end. honestly, the only way you're going to be able to produce works of art super quickly is if you actually just start doing it. That's the biggest problem I found myself having as an artist, is I would start so many projects and never actually finish them. And everything, I was a hoarder with my art, and so many unfinished projects everywhere, just littering my home. I got fed up and I started saying, you know what, I'm gonna start to just finish everything that I start. And it really started sticking with me and transferring over to other parts of my life, and you start to really feel accomplishment. And it's kind of like a drug. You start to write it, like, yeah, give me more. Looking red. Let's more of that yellow up in here, just so that way it comes a little bit more. Alright, let's get some of that yellow scattered out down here. So we got some warts. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use darkness of my canvas to be darkened parts of some of the wart. And I'm looking where his warts are and just quickly getting them down on there. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not going to spend 2 hours just on the warts. I want to keep moving. I want to keep producing more art. So I'm going to quickly knock them out in the areas where I can see that they would be, and just add a couple more here and there. There we go. Just so that way he looks more pleasing to the eye. Alright, cool. That looks great. I like that. And I see I got another little area down in here. It's nice and bright. Let's toss it in. So softly using my wet brush. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. I got it on there. He's looking good. He's looking good. Cool. I wasn't really paying too much attention for the time on this one. I'm sure we're gonna go over time on this, but that's no biggie. Alright, so for the teeth, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use that same dirty brush. I'm gonna grab some of that yellow that I want. I'm gonna bring that yellow right over here to this white. I'm not gonna mix it completely, but I'm gonna turn that white kind of into an eggshell. There we go. Alright. Alright, so that's like an eggshell color right there. Awesome. I think I want some more yellow. Grab some more of that yellow, bring it over, mix it in that corner. Alright, cool. Looking good. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to start the teeth. And this is the fun part. So I'm going to follow his nose line and his lip line right here to start the teeth. That's where like my middle part of the teeth would be, like this area right here. And that's gonna allow me to get the teeth to look a little bit more centered and nicer. So let me get this out real quick. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna use my hand to hold my hand to start the teeth. because my brush is nice and saturated and I can see how much paint is on there, I'm going to keep dancing and I'm going to keep adding teeth. There we go. We got another little guy off in the corner over here. And I'm just following my reference that I have. He's got this guy right here. Because there's a lot of different ways to paint Slimer. There's the cartoon way if you wanted. There's the new Slimer from the new movie if you wanted. I really enjoy the classic Slimer. Now I stood back for a second. I was looking at his teeth. And I was noticing I want to pull them down just a little bit more, make them just a little bit longer right there before adding these other guys over here. What I'm gonna do is my brush is getting kind of crazy there, so I'm gonna sharpen it. Like sharpening a pencil. What I mean by that is I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna spin it in this corner here in my paint that I have. There we go. And now it gives me a nice edge down, so I can go back in and get my teeth. Awesome, I dig it. I like the way it looks. Let me bring this guy out a little bit more, make him look a little bit more buck tooth. There we go. Yeah. Alright, getting a little heavy-handed with my brush right there, but it's giving me exactly the look I'm going for. Alright, cool. There we go. So we're kind of like Bob Ross and Slimer. Alright. Okay, we got those teeth down on there. Alright, I'm liking that a lot. I'm liking that a lot. So now he's got that ton in the middle right there. So I'm going to take my white that's on my brush. I'm just going to mix it with a little bit of this red right here to start to get a pink. There we go. Okay, so now I got a pink, and I don't want it to be too light pink, so it's kind of like a little on the dark side, not too light. I'll bring some more lighter colors in a moment. But right now, what I need to do is I need to add this ton in here. That starts, looks like over here, and in one fluid motion, there. I'm gonna do that, and there we go. That's gonna add that part of the muscle of our tongue for the right side of your tongue. Now I'm gonna add the left side. There we go. It's kind of heart-shaped almost. Already. No biggie. It's gonna bring it to life more. Alright, there we go. Get that shape to be more like how I want it to be. Going back into my brush or my paint. Get some more of that reddish pink. There we go. Okay, that's looking better. I like it. It needs to look more like it's off to the side, so what I'm going to do is Okay, now he looks more like it's off to the side. Not so much heart shape as okay. That looks way better. So now I'm going to kind of let that dry for a second. I'm going to bounce around to some other areas. I'm going to take my round brush, dump it in my water. I'm going to get my flat brush, or square brush. I'm going to come in to my blue and my red, and I'm going to start to mix together purple. So I'm going to mix that together, and I want there to be just a little bit more red than blue. There we go. Alright, just a little bit more red than blue, giving us a really dark purple. So now what I'm going to do with this dark purple is I'm going to start to come in to these areas like this. I'm going to start to add it on there. You can't really see it too much right now, but you will later on. And I'm going to be careful not to mess up any of those lighter colors that I've got in there. And I'm just going to get just inside these areas right there, just to help define it just a little bit better. There we go. Yeah. Right there. Boom. Alright. That's why I'm using this brush, is because it's nice and flat. So I'm going to do the same thing right over here. Alright. And that purple's really going to pop once certain lights hit it. Add that right there, and then I come underneath the nose. Bring that over like that. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, connecting it to that one right there. And then I'm going to wrap it around the bottom part of the nose right there. Create my nostrils. And there we go. Boom. He's got a nose. Alright. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so now I'm going to take this purple and I'm going to do the same thing underneath the eyes really quick. Bringing this over. And also adding in some of these wrinkles that I want. Yes. Awesome. I dig it. I like the way it's looking. It's looking really cool. More of that purple there. There we go. Now I don't want to do a purple outline. That's pointless. That's not really going to show up as much. But this purple against the green, and the yellows, that's gonna really start to pop. Add in some of these wrinkles right on top of what I've already done right here. There we go, get some of those on there. Some of these wrinkles. Alright. Starting to get what I'm looking for right here. Alright, so Now I'm going to take that and I'm going to dive right into my blue right there. Just going to bring that purple right up. A nicer tone blue. So now I'm going to come back in to just some of these areas that I came into before. I'm going to add some of that blue. There we go, yeah. I can really see that. Cool. Dig it. Gotta go along. Get some of this blue. Yeah, there, yes. That's where I want it to go. Looking. I'm going to take some of that blue and I'm going to bring it up in here because I really like the way that blue looks. Alright. I'm going to create some of these other wrinkles down in here using some of this blue. Other wrinkles we've got right there, and then we go use that blue to differentiate between these two. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Dig it. Okay. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to try to mimic the same thing a little bit on this side. Where can I start over here? So I've got that right there. I like that. And then I've got that a little bit right there. Let's make that bigger. Come in and make that figure right there as well. Let's come in. Alright, that looks good. That looks good. I like it. I like it. Cool, cool. And alright, get those wrinkles around the eyes that we have on the other side too. Ooh, I like that blue. I like how that came out. Just a little bit more right there, just because I really like it. And a little bit more over here. And let's add a little bit here as well. Alright, so from there what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to take my brush, drop it right into my water. I'm going to take my round brush and I'm going to clean it off in my water cup. once I've got it cleaned off, basically, it doesn't have to be completely cleaned off, just enough to where I'm going to take it into my paper towel, drag it across it, and there you go. Alright. Cool, Slimer's looking pretty cool. Let's go back into our white real quick. Let's get those bottom teeth. Since we've got that ton started. And let's see. So we got a few of these bottom teeth down in here. We got a nice sharpened paintbrush ready to go. Awesome. Alright. I was doing a circle, oval, and trying to follow what shape the teeth actually look like. Some of them are kind of kidney shaped. And then right there, I don't really have enough room for all of the teeth, but that's okay, because it's just the idea of the tooth. It doesn't have to be perfect. So now I'm going to bring this guy underneath right there, just like he is in the photo. And then next to him is another guy. It's kind of like a U shape. Alright, cool, cool. Dig it. And then I'm going to do another rounded one right there. Alright, and then using, as you can see, I'm using the black part of my canvas showing through right there as the filler for my teeth as well. There we go. Okay, I like that. I'm sticking with that, and I'm going to come back in really quick, and I'm going to do another layer of the white over this one. There we go. Same right there. Over. There we go. Just placing my pinky on there like that gives me a little bit more stability. There we go. Alright. I like it. Looks like this guy needs to be pointed right there. Dig it. Alright, so since I've got this color on here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do his eyeballs now. So when I do circles, what I'll do is I'll do the letter C, and then right next to it, I'll do a backwards letter C. And I find that gives me a much easier circle to work with. So I'll show you how I did that. I do the letter C. I do a backwards letter C next to it, and then I connect them. There we go. Alright. Got that on there. Let's see how he's looking. He's looking fun, looking fun. A lot of times what you want to do is step back from your painting and take a look at it from different angles, and it'll show you what you might need to do to it to help it make a little bit more sense visually. The masters of painting used to take their thumb and hold it out, and it would help. I've done that from time to time. I definitely like to step back, take a look at what I see, and it'll help me determine where do I need to get my next color to go. I'm going to throw in an extra tooth right there. I think you would have one. Alright, see, just adding that extra little tooth right there just brought it together that much more. And that's what you want to do, is you want to try to make your painting as pleasing as possible to the eye. There we go. And these parts are brighter, so I want them to be a little bit brighter right there. Okay. Now I really like the way that looks. We come back into the eyeball one more time. Since that's had a moment to dry, I'm going to make it just a little bit brighter. And I'm even going to fill it in the middle because there is a bright dot around that like orangish, reddish color that they have as the color of his eye. Okay, so there we go. I'm digging the way that was a lot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of that white, I'm going to dip into the white, and I'm going to come over to the red one more time again, and I'm going to make a brighter red. There we go. To stipple onto the tongue right here really quick. And what that's going to do is just help it look like it's wet. Give it some shading as well. Some definition. Following my reference photo. And there's a little bit of that white showing up too. That's looking really cool. I want that. It's gonna get a little bit more of that white on there. There we go. Yeah. And kind of drag my brush around a little bit. You're moving, manipulating the stipples around. There we go. Taking away from the brush strokes. Oops, a little bit of that blue in there, you know what? I kind of like it. I'm going to stick with it. Boom. Dig it. Alright. Cool. There's a little bit more right there because I think it would be a little bit more pleasing. Alright. Awesome. So from there, like I was saying, we've got the yellowy orange color in his eye. So I'm going to take some yellow, I'm going to bring it to my red, I'm going to mix it right there, create that orange. Get that red in his eye, using that same C and backward C to create those circles. Yeah, there we go. I want to darken my circles a little bit, so I'm going to go right in It's still wet like that. Alright. And there we go. We've got Slimer! I dig it. I like it a lot. I like the way how he came out. I think I might have gone way over my video, but that's okay. It's our first one. Alright. Slimer. Yeah, I like the way those different colors really made him pop, really made him come to life. Alright, well. That's it from us here at Drape's Creations. Hope you liked our first painting tutorial. It wasn't really so much a tutorial as like I was just showing you what you could do with some paints. Maybe the next one will be a little shorter. I don't know. Check you later. Drape's Creations.